Hey everybody, I wanted to take this time to thank you so much for taking the time last week to attend the seminar, and I'm sorry I didn't get the time to put together a recording for you. So here it is, just a quick summary of everything you learned. So it's a good weekend homework for everybody to work on. So we talked about that a lot has changed, and obviously you guys are going through a lot of stress, the parents and the kids. Oh my goodness, so much change from the time we came along, but and the feeling that high school sucks is a reality, but hang in there, it all works out okay. Okay. We talked about the four things, looking back, what we've learned, what are some of the traits you want to see in your admissions counselor, the four dimensions of the application, and the impactful role that parents will play. So what we really learned is, first and foremost, you know the best. You as a student, you are the motivated one. You need to be motivated. You need to know who you are, what you really want, and look inside. I mean, there is something inside you. I mean, don't wait for your counselors or your parents to come and tell you what you should be doing, or at least show interest in things that you really want, and don't be ashamed of anything. Like my little one Dia talks about opening her own company of skincare. She's big into doing makeup, and I'm fine with that. So do what you want to do. You want to become a dermatologist, become one. You want to become a plumber, that's fine. Just have pride in what you're thinking and talk about it, and bounce those ideas. I mean, if you don't share with people what you really want, people can't really know what it is, right? But really, you know the best what you want for yourself, and don't let anybody else dictate that to you. This is a tough period, guys. I mean, just take care of yourself. Time management skills are super critical at this stage, and work a lot on your reading skills. Like I read Wall Street Journal. You can start with New York Times, Washington Post. You can do and get involved with writing. If you don't feel like writing, just blabber. If you go through something like a new thing or something you're pissed off about something, just take a recorder and blabber into it. Okay, it's important for you to hold on to these memories or everything you're going through from now onwards all the way through senior year. So do that. Don't allow procrastination to come in between. Really get involved. Just don't take it too seriously, the process. Enjoy the journey, and really your GPA matters, so really get together on your studies. I mean, 11th grade GPA is going to make the huge difference. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need something. Come by. Reach out to me. Reach out to your parents, counselors, everybody. We panicked. We burnt out by December, and what I want to tell you is, December of the Shreya year, and there's a room for everybody. You can see from the statistics here that colleges nationwide, they just can't meet enrollment standards, and that's a problem. So as much as you're worried, they're worried as well at the same time. So be proud of where you are. I mean, they want you. So there's always a college for you. There are 3,000 to 4,000 colleges. Yes, some are going bust, but be there. Know that they're not just the first 50 colleges in the world, and that's not the end of it all. That's what the marketing tells you. I can tell you there are lots of other good schools, and I can tell you what very good schools which will actually be tailor-made for who you are. Okay, I mean, just reach out some point. The enrollment is going down in colleges every year, so as much as the hype is, look beyond that. Some of the things that we think about now, looking back, is we should have finalized our list. A list of colleges should have been made a lot sooner. I don't care if it's a small list of like 10 or 15 colleges, even if the colleges are just in your neighborhood, but understanding which colleges you want to go to, which you don't want to go to, and just taking a tour of some of the colleges, just walking around the colleges and seeing, is this the kind of place I want to be in? Start building that personality for yourself sooner than later. We should have aimed higher. I think we should have ED'd at a higher reach school. We should have ED'd perhaps at MIT or at Stanford for Shreya. Wellesley was great, no doubt, but I think we could have aimed higher for the fact that we pay full fees. You don't get any breaks really for doing an early decision. The school doesn't offer any scholarships, nothing. I think we should have gone higher. We should have built rapport with the professors sooner. That could have been important. Target schools which have merit scholarships. You can get that list, and I can tell you the first top 50 colleges, and definitely the private institutions, nobody gives merit scholarships. Very rarely will you get it. So make sure you find out the schools which actually offer merit scholarships, and apply for these scholarships early. That's super critical. Start doing that early in the year. In fact, use that time to actually build your essay writing skills, and that'll really come out handy, because I tell you, once December, January comes along, you will not want to do any scholarships, and everything matters. $1,000, $2,000 per scholarship, take it. I talked about this, and I put this link in my document, which I'm sending over to you as well. That's the irrational attachment to certain prestigious institutions. Malcolm really goes into details about saying why you don't want to go to a prestigious institution, and he makes a very good case for it. I mean, I'm very impressed with the way he thinks about this whole thing, especially if you're looking at going into a STEM program. Consider not going to a massively big school or a very elite school, because you'll get burnt out, and we talked about this as well last time. The UCs are a great place to look at. I mean, it's half the cost of private schools. Private schools will typically cost you 270, 280. UCs are about 140, 145. So really, and of course you can get some more scholarships there too. So, and I'm talking about California residents, but look at them, look at their ratings. They're pretty good places to be at. Just plan for your milestones. I know I talk a lot this time, and in the presentation also, chances that you got stressed out, but really just milestones for you for this year is, get your PSAT under place, plan for about 15-20 colleges that interest you based on even just some very basic thing. Like if you're into chemistry, look up the colleges which are good about chemistry, right? Or really good into. If you're into art, look at some of the liberal arts schools. If you want to go to political science, which schools are good for that? Start putting a A and a B and a C list, right? That we talked about, the reach, target, safety schools. Start putting some of that together and just start seeing what these schools are. Go on their websites, sign up for their just their email list and start building a relationship with the schools is super important, and start planning for your SAT, ACT. Those are important, guys. You have to give those exams. I mean, in my opinion, you can't really get around those. Look at the estimated cost of each school. Schedule your SAT, ACT. I know that's hard to do it right now, but for next year, to start, give practice exams as many as you can, and by March next year, just go and nail it and go and give it. Give the subject test exams. I know Shreya gave those. And those really helped her and became very important. Take as many APs, not as many, I should say. Take quality APs, and it's important. And we'll talk at some point about the AP quality and versus the quantity. But quality matters far more than quantity. So I see kids taking a crazy amount of APs, and Shreya was one more of those people. Don't take too many APs, but be strategic about this move. Okay. Interviewing the college admissions counselors. Let's talk about that. About really what it is to interview them. The process is a huge roller coaster ride. There's so many unknowns. There's so many moving parts, and every time you talk to a counselor, they don't make it easier. They make it even harder. I feel just maybe it's just our own lack of knowledge, but them also coming mostly from academia, they make it much harder. Attention to details is very critical, and every time you meet somebody, take your notes. Be fascinated, be curious about the process. Don't get overwhelmed. Just think of it as a process to learn something new. I promise you'll learn something pretty cool out of it. I mean, this is not rocket science. There are only so many permutations involved. Okay, I mean, I can tell you, if you just go through this journey with me, and you'll realize there's only so many moving parts. And once you nail that higher level thing, or in fact, if you just listen to this video about 10 times, you'll be set right there. Okay, but really, no one counselor will give you everything you need. Really, you need a person who has a multi-dimensional skills, and many times they don't have those skills, and parents have to come in, or you have to supplement it with additional counselors, like planning for scholarships and stuff. They don't really do much. They'll give you some list and stuff, internships. They don't really do much. I'll put up videos for that, so you can listen to that and look at my channels, look at what I have, and we'll go from there. Okay, but start putting together target college list. Look at Wall Street Journal. They have a great list. Reach out to me. I'll put you together a small list for you as well. Admissions counselor, really it comes down to a personal choice who you want to work with. And like I said, some people like boba, some like Starbucks. My little one Dia loves boba, and the older one loves Shreya loves Starbucks. So nothing is wrong with any drink, and same is the case with admissions counselor. It's a very personal choice, but stay away from gold diggers, people who say a la carte deals, saying hey, I'll help you with 2 schools or 3 schools. Bullshit. If I have a list of 20 schools, you got to help me with all 20. Give me a lump sum price. That's what I want to know. They should be flexible. They should be open-ended. You don't want somebody trying to push you down. And one thing I noticed is there's some kind of a sadistical pleasure a lot of counselors get, or parents get. I don't know what it is, by making it sound like the goal is so far and you have to do so many things to get there. Life is way too stressful. You need somebody who can chill out with you. You need somebody you can hang out with. You want somebody who's firm, not very pushy, and you want somebody detail oriented. So somebody who respects you, somebody you can trust. So really look for these factors. I mean, the net of it is this is a 2-year commitment if you're in junior year now, and you better fall in love with this person. It's got to be love at first sight, love on first call, somewhere. You got to feel that with that person. If you don't, I wouldn't go there. And that's what we did with Shreya. We let her decide. Ask questions of these people, interview them, get an impromptu discussion going with them, saying, hey, I'm struggling with this essay prompt, I'm thinking about this. Pick up Stanford's essay prompt, ask them open-ended, saying, what do you think about this prompt? Here's what I'm thinking about it. What do you want to say about it, right? Get to know them. Surprise them with questions. Okay, meet them 2-3 times, ask for a paid session. You'll get to know their style, very different people. 4 dimensions of an application, let's talk about that. Really, grades matter. 50% of every or more is really great. So your grades will define pretty much everything. So work your ass off, guys. Get your stuff together. This is the year, okay? SAT versus ACT, we talked about that. Shreya initially gave the SAT. She moved over to ACT. It's a question of style. I think we should have tried both earlier, then made a decision, but she chose later. So ACT worked for us better than SAT. The Common App, I would say, do your Common App later. Do more of the college essays. Put more emphasis on that, because most of the times kids, like Shreya was saying, like there are kids who will spend like 9 iterations of doing a Common App. I think you are better off spending more time on the college essay and less time on your Common App, simply because college is scared. Academia is major egoistic places. Make sure that why college, why Wellesley, why Barnard, why MIT is very clear and very uniquely positioned. Spend more time there, and most kids don't spend time there. Recommendations, we talked about why college professor recommendations are so critical. How do you make relationships with them? Your school counselor, we'll talk about that in another slide, but it's super critical to have a relationship, and those are like the people who people don't reach out to, or they have way too many kids to look at. So reach out to them early, reach out to them with quality data, push data in front of them, so that when time comes for them to give you a referral, they're giving you a good one. Your internship mentor matters. School teachers, make sure all of your recommendations are going blind, which means you have not seen them. Only the school teacher has seen them, and she sent it out directly. If you don't trust your teacher, don't even go in there, because if it's not a blind recommendation, you might as well just throw it out of the window. Okay. Extracurriculars, make sure you are taking part in competitions. The point is you have to show progression. You can't be just doing the same thing over and over again. I don't care if it means paying money to show up somewhere, but you got to show progression. Community work matters, right? I mean, quality works, quality over quantity. What did you do with a particular type of community work? Did you go out to a Lions Club? Did you do something with a Rotary Club? Or, like Shreya did a lot of talks about homelessness. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot to give these talks and awareness, and get involved with people at a grassroots level. Salvation Army is open all the time. You can just go over there and volunteer some time and make a fantastic essay out of it. So I have a lot of suggestions over there. I'll put in blogs for that for you guys to look at. Like I said, grades matter a lot. Standardized tests keep you out. They don't get you in. If a school is saying they're SAT and ACT blind, that's one thing. If they say it's optional, they need it. Okay, they absolutely want it. Make sure you do it. I mean, don't just let it go. 3rd and 4th year of college for a foreign language, that matters a lot, particularly if you're going to the good schools. This is hugely important. I don't care. Go to Visant, find a private tutor to tutor you on a language. It shows really well on your application, particularly if you're going to go to a top of the line Ivy school or a good liberal arts school. Language matters a lot, so make sure you do that. Okay. SAT versus ACT, we talked about what they are, and just get to know who you are. When one style works, one does not. So 2021, just wait it out. Continue to practice exams, do your own fact checking. You can see how UC's testing policy is, and they're test optional now, which is very different from test blind. They're saying they'll go test blind, but they are also saying they'll come up with some other new test at some point. So they're never really going to take it away. And UCs are a little more liberal, so they're saying we'll be test blind, but still be ready for it. I mean, standardized tests, in my humble opinion, are not going away anywhere. Apply to as many schools, guys. I mean, after 6 or 7 schools of applications, it pretty much becomes the same. Okay, and apply EA, go early action. I guess I'll keep that for next year for you guys, why those are important. But Ask somebody to analyze the strength of your application based on your current grades, just on ninth strength and based on your extracurriculars. Put together a resume. I'll send you a template of Shreya's resume. Send it to people, send it to counselors, let them review it and tell you what it is. Reach out to me, I'll help you build a good resume as well. Um, your school counselor's notes. I mean, this is some of the structure you can follow in terms of counselor notes, what all they should have. These are some of the traits your counselors should be able to relate to with your profile. And if they're not, make sure you are getting these things across to them. Like, they should be able to write some things like, he was helpful, he's a confident, he's an exciting person. There are a lot of these traits like be yourself, be open, he's a different kind of a person, he's very trustworthy. These are not things that your school teacher or your internship mentor is going to write a whole lot about. They're fairly serious people. Your counselor, you have an opportunity with them to write something good. Okay, so make sure you have them write some of these things. The brag sheet, I've put a link to it in my document, but this is a critical thing. Parents, you got to get involved in actually writing this brag sheet. Students, write some of this brag sheet yourself, and this is important. I know of kids, like Shreya was saying, kids whose parents never wrote the brag sheet and they had to write it themselves, and that's not cool. Parents got to get involved in this process early on. Parents, you can absolutely help in this process. Absolutely, there's a huge thing. I don't care what your relationship with the kid. A kid doesn't want to show you the essays, that's fine. Just be there, be by their side. They really need your attention. I think this is a time when Shreya and my relationship really blossomed and we really became good friends, was because of this process. I mean, I'm not the best father anyways, but here I think I scored some good points with her. So this is an opportunity. Don't take it as a bad thing, or don't outsource to your counselors, guys. They're not really, I mean, for them it's a job. For you, it's your kid. I have friends who pay like $20,000 to a counselor, and they think that by paying more money, they'll be able to get some benefits. But it's not that. You just got to get involved yourself. Know this thing that your student is the CEO. Students, you are in charge, and everybody around you works for you, and this is super critical. And I trust their instincts. I trust the instincts of Shreya's instincts, and I'm hoping I'll trust Dia's instincts also when she makes decisions. I want to get involved only when I'm asked. I can speak from the side. There were times Shreya and I would just speak from other rooms. I didn't want to even get into a room and talk to her. We used to text and we used to chat a lot, but just don't get in their face. This is a very stressful time for them. Just know the process, know the key dates, milestones, what should be done. Build your rapport with your admissions counselors. That's more important than building a rapport or asking the kid 10 times, like, did you get your shit together or not? Beat up on the consultant for quality, don't spare the student. The student's going crazy. It's super important. You want to get hands-on involved, I'll tell you. Have project management skills. This is an area kids lack. I'll send you the spreadsheet link in the document. Work the document with the kid in terms of milestones, what's going to get done when and stuff. Teach them interviewing skills. These are things Teach them how to interview with an admissions counselor. Zoom skills in terms of being professional, right? Investigate these colleges for them. I tell you, this is a pain in the butt to put together. Come back to me. I'll do it for you. I mean, this is something which I enjoy doing, right? Take detailed notes of every college who you talk to, and I've got some crazy strategies, and I'll talk about this in some of my blogs. But document details to a Google Drive, right? So it's easily, when your kid wants it, they can see it, and trust me, they will thank you for these things. Project management skills, like I said, this is the sheet we got from the counselor. This is what I made out of it. So big difference, as you can see. I wrote a lot of different things, color coding things, and of course I have better spreadsheets as well, which I'll show you at some point. But this is an area you can be of a lot of help to your kid. Interviewing skills with colleges, I've sent this in the document for you to look at. I'm sharing this list with you. Important books and guides. Read these books, guys. These are very important. Again, links to all these are in this thing. I'm going to be doing a lot of workshops besides this, like actual interview strategy. Shreya and I will be doing for the admissions officers. We'll actually do some mock stuff. We're figuring a few things out, so just stay in touch with us. These are some workshops we're going to do fairly quickly in the next few weeks. Target college lists. If you want us to help you build, we can do some of that for you as well. Essay writing, brainstorming, right? We'll have a workshop to brainstorm who you are and really just put together your own ideas. And we'll chronicle Shreya's journey, all the essays she wrote, right? We'll give you step by step along the way. Good thing is I have people at Salesforce where I work who also want to get help involved in this project. So these are parents who want to get involved. My client where I do a lot of consulting work, Amgen, their folks want to get involved. So there are a lot of people who want to help and are getting involved with me in this whole process, in this revolution, as I would call it. So just stay in touch with me. That's super critical. And with that, just good luck. And let me share with you the document that I'm going to be sharing. So this is the document you're getting. You'll get access to my YouTube channel. Stay in touch with me on my blog site, which is a master document. LinkedIn, stay in touch with us over LinkedIn. Reach out to us over emails. Facebook profile, I'm giving information. Malcolm's talk, what that is, listen to his talk. Shreya's brag sheet, there's a document for that. Application schedule, planning spreadsheets, admissions officer interviews, and the recommended books. So with that, I will take your, good luck. Bye guys.